Hello everyone from Brisbane Airport. We've just arrived off an international flight, so we can check in here for our onward domestic connection with Qantas down to Melbourne. There is a business class check-in priority queue, but it's not busy at all at this hour, and anybody could have walked straight up to a desk. Now we just have to wait for a shuttle bus over to the domestic terminal. Once we arrived at the Qantas section, we can head straight over to the special security area. After going through this exclusive security screening for business class and status holders only, it leads us straight into the lounge. The business lounge was quiet at this hour, so it was easy to get a nice seat by the window. There was also some other styles of seating areas around, and other seats around some bars or barista stations. There was also a reasonable selection of food on offer too, just not much different from what I'm used to in a regular Qantas Club lounge though. The views from our spot in the lounge are pretty good, which is the main deciding factor which makes this a superior lounge over the Qantas Club lounge here, which just looks over the car park. There are some shower suites available, and although there aren't really any amenities in here, they're still a welcome sight for people like me who've just come off a long-haul overnight flight. The weather outside wasn't too bad to start off with, but by the time our plane was landing from its inbound flight from Melbourne, we could only just make it out through the rain. Now that our flight has landed and is nearly ready for boarding, it's time to leave the lounge and head to the gate. So here's our ride down to Melbourne, this 15-year-old 737-800. There were calls for priority boarding, but it didn't really seem to be enforced, or just most of the plane had some sort of priority status. But we were on the plane quickly enough though, as I'd already queued up beforehand, so in no time I made it to my seat for this flight, 3A, in the last row of business class, which actually still comes with a pretty decent wing view.
That fills our heart and makes us feel safe.
The what was at this time brand new Qantas safety video played on the overhead screens, as our plane wasn't equipped with seatback IFE. Now that we're on our way to Melbourne, let's look around the business class seat. There's a tablet holder strap attached to the seat back, but without proper IFE, these headphones were kind of useless and no one in the cabin appeared to use them. But they could be easily stored out of the way in this large pocket here and not impede on the good legroom either. There were some audio channels here though if you really wanted to listen to them, and a large cocktail table in the centre here with the manual seat controls on the side of it. This actually somewhat covered port is where the headphones would plug into if you used them, but the USB and other power outlets down here worked all fine. The footrest isn't too bad either, and the headrest is adjustable too, although mine required quite a lot of effort to move around. The tray table deploys from this side armrest, and it can be moved forward and back, twisted to the side and folded in half, but probably can't be moved enough to get out of your seat. The business class rows here all have 2 windows each to take in the views outside. It was quite noticeable, however, that the seat was dirty and the cabin also tired and worn in some areas too. Now let's see what entertainment Qantas offers on board. Accessed through the entertainment app on my phone, there's a reasonable selection of things to watch and some other features on here too. Qantas also offers free and unlimited high-speed Wi-Fi to all on board, so there's more than enough to do for this short 2-hour flight. Now that we've reached cruising altitude, the service started. Considering we took off just before 11 AM in Brisbane, and would land into Melbourne at 1:30 PM local time there, I was expecting a lunch to be served, so it was quite surprising, and a bit disappointing too, when we were offered a breakfast instead. It all tasted nice, but it was a bit underwhelming overall. And even for a breakfast, I would have still expected a yogurt or a fruit salad also. This quiche wasn't my first choice, but being one of the last people to be served, I won't hold that against them. Although the other option of a ham and cheese croissant didn't seem all that premium of a meal either. The crew was nice though, and they did hand out these little bottles of water too, and offer some drink refills. The front business class toilet was a very standard 737 one. It was clean, but didn't really have any special amenities. Soon we commenced our descent into Melbourne. We got held up near the gate for something I've never seen before. The automatic docking system for our plane didn't seem to be working, but eventually we made it onto our stand.
For the ground crew to turn on a parking guidance system for us. We should be there in about another minute or so. We do ask to remain seated with the seatbelts fastened until we've got the airplane parked and turn off the fasten seatbelt signs. Once again, a very warm welcome to Melbourne.
Being seated near the front, we were off the plane quickly. In the terminal, we got a great view of this new Qantas A220. Stay tuned for a review of that, as I've recently taken some flights on them. The experience of collecting our luggage pretty much summarised my entire experience today. My bags were priority tagged, but they were actually in the last half of the bags to come out anyway, which was similar to the rest of the flight in that Qantas tried to offer some sort of a premium experience, but in many ways it often fell short of the expectations.